Hey guys, I just want to touch base with you real quick. Had it brought to my attention several different times that in the Momentum program, there's a lot of different sales training that is built into this particular program that's already there for you. All you have to do is remember to put the stuff in. However, it doesn't necessarily identify it. What I've also found out is talking to the agents that we've had in our classes, also talking to the broker owners, like a 501 meeting in Vegas last week, that there's a lot of broker owners have not been trained in this particular area of professional sales as well. So I wanted to kind of give you a little some tips on some things that are in there that you don't want to forget about when you're looking at the program. One of the things that's in here is like the buyer conversion class and the seller conversion class. They are 100% a 5-stage critical sales path program. You want to learn more about that, go to like the Sandler system, Dave Stone taught the new home sales, just Google it and you're going to find a dozen different places to look more about that process of a critical sales path. Critical sales path is critical towards helping you move someone from a suspect to a prospect to a client, okay? So it really helps you through the process. You're helping them. You think of it from the perspective of you as a doctor. You've got someone, if you go to the doctor and you come in and you talk to them about something, they start asking you a bunch of questions. They don't just automatically say, well, here's what we need to do. They ask you a ton of questions to identify what they believe is the problem, where the pain is, what it is. Then they sell you the course of action to take care of it, a prescription, a procedure, whatever. That's what you're going to do in a critical sales path. That's the exact same pattern that's being taken place. We've got, for instance, in the 5-stage process here, your first conversation, you're going to meet in the office, you're going to meet in the conference room, you're going to build rapport, you're going to get the relationship started. Then your first messaging you're really trying to get across is a win-win, it's going to be a win-win relationship for all involved. Then your second message you're going to get into is you're going to really try to uncover the buyer's needs and wants. You're going to really dig down and find out what they really want in a home. You're going to help them prioritize their wants. You're going to verify the buyer motivation. One of the first tests was getting them to come to the office. Then you're going to check their financial ability. Message 3, you're going to go into covering your mutual expectations, what you can expect from them, what they can expect from you. You're going to gain agreement on those roles, and then you're going to close meeting 1 so that both of you go back and do your homework. They're going to go back and get their financing. You're going to go back and start looking at homes for them. Once you've done that, you've done your homework and preparation, you get back together, you show them homes that meet the criteria. You're going to make sure that you're going to get them the home that they want, and more importantly, a few months later, that they actually want the home they got. They didn't settle for something because they got caught up in the spur of the moment. Closed buyer and informed intelligent offer. This is a 5-stage step. What I'm going to tell you too is this is what I used when I first got into the new home side of the business. I was 1983. And we were sending out letters to people that were renters saying, if you bring in a rent stub, from this particular neighborhood and you show a pay stub showing you make X amount of dollars, we'll give you $50 just to come out and talk to us. Well, people came out, they were not coming out because they wanted a house. They didn't believe that in 19.6 interest rates, that's what they wanted to do. They came out for the $50. But we went through this process. We started off with a warm up, we developed a relationship, we went through wants and needs analysis. We did the doctor, analysis. Then we showed them what they could do, and then all of a sudden we were actually selling 7 homes a month, probably closing 5 after financing. So the only way, and these were the people who were not looking for a home, they were looking for $50. So what I'm trying to tell you is this will be a big benefit to you with people who truly are looking for a home. You're going to find it very, very helpful. Also in the scripts, there's things that are built into the scripts that really solve this problem. It's going to start, like tie-down questions are built into here. There's a lot of sales techniques built into these scripts, not identified, but don't forget them. So that's why I want to point them out to you as to what they are. So like for instance, here's one on justifying the meeting. A client says to you, you're trying to get them to meet, and they say, well, can't you just email me information? And your comment was, don't you see a benefit in us getting together? And if they say, well, other agents don't make me do this, this is an opportunity for you. This is where you would say, exactly. Understand that I'm a real estate consultant. I'm extremely serious about what I do. I don't do this part-time. I run a business, and I'm not in the business of showing homes. I'm in the business of satisfying needs. I have a process that I use with all my clients. Therefore, what we need to do is, before I start emailing you information, is define your perfect home, Make sure the homes we consider fall well within your financial comfort zone and thoroughly discuss our roles and expectations on a successful working relationship. I believe the best approach when investing a large sum of money is to operate on it as an intentional and proactive team. Wouldn't you agree? Now, by the way, on this one, the very first word, when they were asking why no other people don't do this, the very first word is exactly. But what that does is this: when you're getting ready to tell somebody something that they don't really want to hear, they're wanting to move in this direction, and you're wanting to move this direction. You never say no to them, because they won't listen to the rest of your conversation. You always go exactly, absolutely, then, but not only say why we're not going to do it that way. That's what this does. Second of all, if at the very beginning, in here it says, wouldn't you agree? That is a tie-down question. Tie-down questions get those little yeses for you that are going to ultimately get you where you want to be. One of the best books on that is this little book right here. It's called How to Master the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins. Chapter 3 is all about questions. It's all about asking questions. So on your tie-down questions, things like aren't they, aren't you, can't you, couldn't it, shouldn't it, doesn't it, don't you agree, don't we, shouldn't it, wouldn't it, haven't they, hasn't she, isn't it, isn't that right, didn't it, wasn't it, won't they, won't you. There's a million more. Those are always added at the end of a sentence, and that gives that little tie-down close. There's also an inverted one. Let's say, for instance, that you want to do an inverted tie-down. You can do that one, and then there's also one called an internal tie-down. So on the standard one, let's say, for instance, your comment was, once you get the feel of it, you can control it well, can't you? That's a standard tie-down. Inverted would be, can't you really control it well once you get the feel of it? Okay, so you've inverted, you put the question on the front. Internal would be, once you get the feel of it, can't you really control it well? Okay, so you've put the thing in the middle. So you also have tag on, tie down. So those are like, for instance, if your client were to say, well, quality is important, and you say, isn't it? You're still getting that tie down close. If you're going to do a lot of tie downs, it's a good idea to have multiple ones to use, and it's also a good idea to be able to invert them and drop them in different places, because that way you don't sound like a broken record for those old enough to know what vinyl sounded like. So that kind of gets you through that process of going through there. I'm recommending these things for you to look into. Just wanted to touch base with you on some of these things. I had some brokers that asked me if I would do this. I've done it. So this hopefully gives you some things. If you have questions, get a hold of me, 317-610-7458. I'll be glad to talk to you.